Welcome to the Veterinary Marketing Podcast, where it's all about helping your veterinary practice attract, engage, and retain clients. Broadcasting a new podcast every Monday from sunny Southern California, here's your host, Brandon Bashirs.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to episode number 134 of the Veterinary Marketing Podcast. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to talk all about Google AdWords. We've been neglecting Google AdWords for a bit. It's been a long time since I've had an episode about AdWords specifically. But this is going to be a fantastic episode. AdWords has added so many cool new ad types, so many cool new audiences, and just targeting that is going to help you to grow your veterinary practice. So I'm really excited about today's episode. It's going to be jam-packed, full of value. If you're even thinking about doing AdWords campaigns, or if you are running AdWords campaigns right now, you're going to want to be sure to listen all the way through. Additionally, there is going to be, I'm going to tell you about a program that YouTube has where they will come out and send out somebody to shoot a commercial for you for free. So that's pretty dang cool. So we're going to jump into today's episode in just a second, but before we begin, I would like to mention a few things. First, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe in iTunes or Google Play. And if you could do me a huge favor, if you enjoy the podcast, please leave me an honest review. I would really, really appreciate it. That would be fantastic. The next thing that I want to mention is this episode is being sponsored by usedvetequipment.com. Usedvetequipment.com is a website that is owned by Brad Haven. It's been on the internet for 5 years now. And Used Vet Equipment's slogan is that they bring the buyer and the seller together. So do you have any used equipment in your storage room that you're looking to sell? Do you have any money? Do you want to save money by buying used? If you're looking for anything from cages and kennels to x-rays, ultrasound, surgery and laser equipment, lab equipment from IDEX or Abaxis, tables, tubs, sinks, and all kinds of miscellaneous items. If you're looking to buy or sell, you should head on over to usedvetequipment.com. It's like the eBay for vets. But the website works really well. Brad set it up so that both the buyer and the seller are protected, that everybody's happy. And you can go to usedvetequipment.com to read all kinds of testimonials. And you just want to go and check that out if you're thinking about buying or selling. Head on over to usedvetequipment.com. And be sure to tell Brad that you heard about it from the Veterinary Marketing Podcast. And be sure to support the sponsors of the podcast. It wouldn't be possible to have the podcast without them. So thank you, Brad. And thank you, usedvetequipment.com. The last thing that I want to mention is, if you haven't done so already, be sure to go to the Facebook group, the Veterinary Marketing Nerds. So if you go to facebook.com/groups/the Veterinary Marketing Nerds, you can sign up and join the Facebook group where you'll learn how to become a better marketer and improve your veterinary practices marketing so you can attract, engage, and retain your clients. All right, so let's jump into today's episode. AdWords has been developing their ad product silently and not so vocally as like Facebook for a long time now. So let's think about a few things first. What would you want to be using AdWords for versus what would you want to be using Facebook for? So AdWords is different in that people are searching for things, but they're also, so AdWords is not just Google search, but it's display ads, which are, like banner ads and pictures. It is also YouTube ads. There's also shopping ads, all kinds of ad formats that you can use. Now, there's different uses for each one of these ad types. So, for example, if people are searching for, in your area, they go on Google and they're searching for vaccines in my area, which is definitely a possibility, right? You have people searching for vaccines all the time. That's a lot different than somebody on Facebook who's scrolling through their newsfeed and then they see a piece of content for vaccines, for example. So one has a very different intention than the other. So people can be doing a few things on AdWords. They're looking for branded search, which is, right, they're searching for directions to your veterinary hospital. Or they can be doing transactional searches, which is looking for example, I want a vet in my area, right? They're actually looking to make a transaction decision. Or they could just be doing research, which is, why does my dog's breath stink, for example. Each one of those has different opportunities for veterinary practice because the intention is different on the searcher. So the searcher has different intent with each one of those things. So you want to be creating ads that are appropriate for the search intent of the keywords that you're searching, typically, if you're doing search. If you're doing display ads, it's a lot different as far as what you're going to be using display ads for. So, for example, if you have current clients that you're looking to stay in front of, that you want to make sure that clients who haven't been in, say, more than 90 days, that they start seeing your ads so that they can remember that, oh, they need to come in and bring their pet in. If you have specific lists of clients who have specific conditions and you want to market maybe treatment or medications, or you have to be careful with medications because that is an ad type that is difficult to get approved. But, treatments or products or whatever for specific groups of your clients, then that is something that display ads would work well for too. The next thing is video ads, and video ads are great for engagement and awareness and building your YouTube channel. So video ads are done obviously on YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google, and so YouTube is the biggest, well, actually, I'll take that back. It used to be the biggest video consumption platform, and Facebook recently just eclipsed them with having more video views. But the thing about Facebook is that the video views that they measure are 3-second video views and their autoplay. So does YouTube really have more views? It's hard to say, but my guess is that YouTube has more quality views than Facebook. Okay, went off on a little tangent there, but YouTube is a great place for ads. There's all kinds of ad types specifically within YouTube. You have banner ads, you have video ads that you can do. And so I mentioned in the beginning, let's get over this right now and talk about this. YouTube has a program that they call their Director On-Site program. And you can get a professional video ad and expert ad campaign support when you spend at least $350 on YouTube. Now, I'm going to say if you're thinking about doing any AdWords, which means advertising on YouTube, if you want help with this, this is something that I can do for you and your veterinary practice. So if you're interested in getting AdWords support, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can go to my Facebook page and do that. But if you go to director.youtube.com, you can book a shoot where they will come and they will shoot a professional commercial for you that you could use for branding and awareness and all kinds of cool things. And YouTube is really, really cost effective, and it's actually comparable to Facebook as far as the cost per views. And I think that you have a little bit better quality of views because you have better choice of placement. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But it's really cool. It's called Director On-Site. If you go to director.youtube.com, you can sign up for that, and it's free. So it's really cool. You tell them about your business, they come, they shoot a 30-second video ad, and then you can use that on YouTube. Very cool. And I've done YouTube ads for videos, and I'm able to get consistently very, very cheap video views for that. So it's definitely a great platform to test and try out. And if you get a free commercial, you can also use that on your other platforms as well. So I think that probably every practice should try that, especially if you don't have a professional quality video made. I mean, that's a huge value, and it comes for free. So that's something that's really, really, really cool. Check that out. I will be sure to link that. If you go to veterinarymarketingpodcast.com, I will link the YouTube Director On-Site page as well. But let's talk about their new targeting features. So with each one of these ad types, you can use different kinds of targeting features. Now for display ads and video ads, they have what are called affinity audiences. And affinity audiences are different types of people who engage based on like what channels they're into, what content they watch, and all kinds of cool things. Now, for veterinary practices, you can create what's called custom affinity audiences. So you can put in things like URLs for websites. You can put in topics like pets and animals, pets, foods and supplies, animal products and services, and you'll get people who are engaging with specific video topics, and you can then refine that based on geographic location. So this is really cool. You can reach pet owners who are looking at, like for example, maybe they're watching a video about dog food and dog food reviews, and then maybe they'll see your veterinary practices YouTube ad, and then they can go to your website and do all kinds of cool things. So these affinity audiences are pretty cool. you can test them out and try and see which ones get the best clicks for you. And all of this is really well measured inside of Google AdWords, which has refined their platform so that reporting is pretty simple. You can see what's working and what's not. So custom audiences are pretty cool inside of there. These are affinity audiences based on topics that they're interested in, demographics, life events, all kinds of cool things. So that's definitely something that you'd want to test out and check out. And again, if you're looking for help with AdWords specifically, I would say send me a message and I'd be happy to let you know what I can do. You can choose your placements, which are cool. So you can target YouTube channels, YouTube videos, different websites, different apps, and really refine where your videos are going to be shown too. So I think that video is probably a great way to test, and I don't think many practices are advertising with video. So if you're interested, it would really help you to stand out and let people kind of engage with your brand before they show up in your practice, which I think is really, really cool. So that's for, you can use these affinity categories for both display ads and also video ads. You can't use it specifically for search, but that's okay because search is pretty straightforward. You're targeting different kinds of searches, again, based on searcher intent, and then directing them to where you're hopefully getting them to go. So this is not a best practices episode. We're just talking about new tools and cool things within AdWords. If you go back to one of my AdWords episodes, you can find all those best practices, or send me a message if you're curious. Now, the next thing that they've been doing is they've created an audience manager. And most people don't know the audience manager because nobody talks about it. But it's an amazing tool that lets you create custom audiences that you can then market to on all of their ad types, even if they're doing searches as well. So it's really, really cool. So when I talk about the audience manager, there's custom audiences that you can do. So we have custom audiences and we have remarketing audiences. So if you have your website set up properly, that you're tracking conversions inside of your website. So for example, when people are clicking or calling, and you can do that with Google Tag Manager, or you can do that with CallRail or these other tools that will help you to track conversions on your website. But if you're doing that, you can find out where these people are coming from, which segments are identified as converting the most, and then you can create retargeting audiences of those segments. So for example, if you find that people are searching, let's say in your area, they're searching for, is it safe to get my senior dog a vaccine, right? And let's say that you get really a lot of traffic from that specific search term. And then you find that people call from that. Well, if you have conversions that are high from that, you can then take the segment of traffic who have been through that but haven't converted. So some of these retargeting audiences and remarketing audiences can be built within Google Analytics, which is so cool. So all of these Google products, they integrate really well. You have YouTube, you have Google Analytics, you have Tag Manager, and then you have AdWords. So all of these products integrate, and Search Console too, which is really cool. So you can identify segments that are really performing well and then target just those segments with ads, which is a cool strategy. The other thing that they have are custom audiences, which are built out of website visitors, app users, if you have an app for your practice, which is cool. Now, I don't know, I don't have any experience with that, but my guess is that you can place a tag manager code inside of your app if you have that kind of customization within that, and then use that app to retarget those individuals. Super cool. Then there's YouTube users. So if you have an active YouTube channel, you can target people who've been on your videos, just like with Facebook, where you can target people who've watched a certain percentage of your videos. And then last, you have a customer list. So this is pretty cool. Now, from this, you can build what are called similar audiences. And similar audiences are lookalike audiences on Facebook, where you say, here's the data, find out people who are similar to this and target them. And what I've seen with similar audiences is that it works pretty well too to find the right traffic segments for your offers specifically. So with all of the ads that you're doing, you're going to want to make sure and do geographical revision on the ad targets. So make sure you're only targeting a certain area around your practice. But then apply all of these different cool audiences that you can to test out and see which ones are going to work best for your veterinary practice. So, website visitors, let's go into that one first. This one's pretty cool. So you can do people who visited a certain page. You can also create rules so that it auto-populates. And this is why naming conventions are important when you create content. So if you're creating blog content, for example, you're going to want to make sure that your URLs contain the keywords of the segments that you're using. So if, for example, if the URL contains dogs and people go to that page, you can create a segment of dog owners, because typically cat owners aren't going to be looking at the dog pages. And if you want to build the list of only cat owners, you can do the same thing. So that's cool. The next thing that you can do is you can set the duration. So how long ago was it that the person visited your website? And then once you create that remarketing list or that custom audience, then you can use that audience for any of the ad types, which is really cool. So people who visited your website, if they're searching for veterinarian near me, for example, you're going to really, really want to show up in that ad because they've already been to your website and you don't want to lose them. So especially if it's a past client or something, you don't want to lose those people. The next segment is YouTube users, and you can do all kinds of cool things. You can target people who've seen a specific video. You can do certain videos, so a combination of videos, people who viewed your ads, people who subscribed to your channel, people who liked any videos on your channel. So just all of these really, really cool engagement tools. You can build audiences of these people. Show them more tools, trying to get them to subscribe to your YouTube channel, try and get them to, do whatever kind of action that you're wanting to do. But at this point, it's going to be a second or third or fourth engagement with your brand. And so just the more engagements that you can build, the more people are going to get to know you and hopefully want to come into your practice. So that's pretty cool. And it's a really good tool, especially if you have a large YouTube following, which most practices don't, but it, I think, is a good reason why you should probably start doing YouTube in general. Make sure that all of your content from Facebook is also going on YouTube. And the last one is customer list. Now, customer list is just like Facebook's custom audiences, where you can upload emails, phone numbers, first names, last names, countries, or zip codes. So if you do upload the first and last name, you need to have zip codes in there. You also have to certify that you're complying with their data terms, which means you can't buy a list and then upload it. So that's something to note for sure. But I think that this is a definite, you want to put all of your customer list up there, because if your customers are searching for veterinarians near them and they are your former customers, there's a chance that you could be losing them. I don't know why they would be searching for other vets, but you're going to want to make sure and stay in front of them in search. So that's all of the different customer lists. And from those lists, if you have at least 1,000 contacts in there, or 1,000 website visitors, or 1,000 YouTube viewers, you can build a similar audience out of that to then show your content to, or your ads to. So these are some really cool tools that most people don't know about. They do know typically that they're available on Facebook, but they're also available on Google AdWords. So you get to add that layer of refinement to ads that are typically only search or transactional searches that are going on. So I think this is a really, really powerful tool for veterinary practices, and you should definitely check this out for your practice. Now, if you're interested in YouTube ads or AdWords or search ads or display ads, send me a message. I'm happy to help. You can send me a message on my Facebook page, is probably the best way to get in touch with me. Or you can send me an email at brandon@veterinarymarketingpodcast.com. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. If you need any help with anything, if you need to have any questions, comments, please don't hesitate to reach out. And again, if you could do me a huge favor, please be sure to give me a review on iTunes or on Google Play. And we will see you on next week's episode. Have a great day.